Hello learners, welcome to the SWAM course on preparation of research proposal in social sciences. I am Dr. Pratik Chaurasia, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Education, Banaras Hindu University. Today we are moving towards our next lecture, which is based on component of research proposals part 1. There are many components in a research proposal that we will discuss one by one in a detail in upcoming lectures. So today's lecture is based on component of research proposal. So let us begin. Key learning themes. The themes which we are going to discuss today you can see on the screen here: title or cover page, introduction, literature review, rationale of the study, research question, statement of the problem and objective of the study. So let us take all this one by one. As we have discussed in previous lectures that what is research proposal, how it is developed and what are the precautions regarding development of a research proposal. So today we are moving forward in order to understand what are the components of a research proposal, and as a researcher it is must to be understand that yes, what are the components and what are their particular intent in a proposal. So let us start our discussion. The first component that in a research proposal generally we have is title page. Sometimes we say it cover page also, and this cover page is a overall thing that what you represent in front of others of concluding what your proposal contains. As you can see here on the screen, that title page basically contain few important things. First is project title. What is the title of your project? Second is logo of institute. It is optional also, because as I have discussed previously that there are many research formats of a proposal. Sometimes it varies from institution to institution. So some institution demands logo on the cover page, some do not demand. So it is up to you learners that you will look into the aspect that whether you are going to put logo or not. Next is course or project detail. For example, if you are making a research proposal for PhD, you have to mention is there, or sometime you are making a research proposal for getting some fund to some funding agency, that thing specifically you have to mention it there. Next is research collaborators and supervisor, if supervisor is there. Related details, for example, your name and your collaborator's name, and if you have any supervisor you can put name as well. Next is date of submission, when you are submitting the proposal. And sometime, especially for research scholars, those who are doing PhD, this is very important that what is the date of submission, because it has so many technicalities which align with date of submission, as well as sometime you have departmental research committee and related dates. So whatever is required in the format, you please make it there. Next is session or year of submission. This is very important. You have to make it specifically that this is the year of my proposal submission, for example 2025. And last is detail of institution to which you are submitting or which you are working. Whatever institution you have, you have to write a detail of your institution, and this all things constitutes a proper title page. You can see here project title, logo, course or project detail, research collaborator, date of submission, submission of the year, and then detail of institutions. All these things you have to put in a one page in a very decorative manner, so that it should look attractive to the person or the concerned institution to whom you are submitting your proposal. Next is, this is another very important and significant component of the research proposal, where you make and announce the thing which are there in your mind. And as a researcher, this is the phase where you grow initially that what your research actually is. So let us see here. Once a researcher prepares a title or cover page, the next component is the introduction. In the introduction section, it is often recommended to start with a clear statement of overreaching purpose of the study. This is very important to understand here, that you have to mention overreaching purpose of the study. that emphasizes the fundamental aspects of the research. Let us understand this with an example. See, if you are preparing a research proposal which is inclined towards online learning, just take an example for online learning, then ultimately when you write your introduction, you have to take care of few certain things, as well as you have to prepare introduction in such a manner that what you have as an idea, you have to concretize it with some certain kind of a background. Some of the crucial elements should be discussed in this section are as follow. Please make a note of it. First is about the research. See, there is a very common discussion coming into the research proposal, that what we write in introduction and what we write in rationale, that we will discuss in the upcoming slides. So, there are some thin line differences between introduction and rationale, that you have to write about the research. About the research means the idea, the concept that you have in a research proposal. Next is some significant established research finding in the concerned area with citation. This is another very important aspect. See, when you are mentioning anything, I have discussed it many times, that it will not be considered only by your thought and feeling. In a research, we go with some kind of evidences. Therefore, as a researcher, it becomes your prime responsibility to write and make it clear with the help of citations. Next is short introduction of how your research topic was stimulated. This is very interesting. As a researcher, you have to understand that what are the aspects and ideas which have led you to some certain research topic which you are going to take in a research proposal. Please highlight it and try to explain it in a very lucid manner. Next is argument in support of the research problem. This is another interesting thing, that what are the arguments which you feel necessary to be put here, that these are the things, this had led to me to this certain kind of a research. You have to mention it there in the introduction section. Next is what are the general issues or areas you are exploring. This is another important thing, that what are the things you are exploring to conduct this certain study, because there are so many things which you have to counter and take up in the study, but in the introduction you have to give a highlights of that yes, these are the things which I am thinking and I am moving accordingly. Next is why is this topic important and contextual. See, it is a phase where you plan, you think and articulate your ideas into concrete plan. Therefore, it becomes necessary for you that you make a proper justification of importance and contextualization of a research in the era. Otherwise, it makes it poor, that yes, it is not contextual, it is not important, but you are proposing on your own. So, be very careful in terms of justifying this importance and contextual. Next is literature review. First is we have discussed about title or cover page, second is introduction, and third literature review. This is the third and a very important component of research proposal that we will discuss in other lectures also, that how to frame review of literature in a very comprehensive manner. But here we have to understand literature review as a component, that what it actually intends, and this is not for literature review, for other components also. As a researcher, you have to be very clear, very precise, that yes, this component require this thing to be written. So, let us begin with literature review. Literature review generally it helps and make you to provide some certain kind of a background for a research, and it is essential for research proposal. A well written literature review is a crucial component of a strong research, as it demonstrates the researcher expertise and the validity of their proposed research. Foundation for research, it is a foundation of your overall research. It serves as a foundation of your research, providing context and guidance for your methodology, analysis and interpretations of results. Now here it's a very interesting thing to understand as a researcher, that see, as a researcher you have some certain idea, you have some certain thoughts, but when you move forward you should have a different kinds of studies which may be inclined particular to your research or maybe to some other research, related research, so that you can have not only the knowledge gap, you can have idea of methodology, that certain kind of a research can be done with the help of some certain methodology. Analysis, for example, if you have some data, you are new to that particular research, and there are several kind of researches which are done on similar kind of methodology, several kind of method and details that you put in your research. So it is very important to understand that how to analyze some certain kind of a data, as well as what are the statistical tools or what are the techniques, whether quantitative or qualitative, you will utilize for interpretations of the result. So overall you can say literature review gives you a foundation of a research, that how I will move forward and in what ways, not only for methodology, analysis, interpretation, it gives you a very clear cut idea about the things what is to be done for certain kind of a research. Next is it enhances credibility. This is another most important aspect. A comprehensive and structured literature review enhances the credibility of your research proposal and increases the justification with strong research support. As a researcher, it's our prime responsibility to understand, articulate, and justify our ideas with some certain research support. Whatever research you are doing, it is not going to be accepted only by saying. So, as a researcher, please make the credibility by review of literature. You can provide citation, you can give research evidences that yes, this kind of research has been done and these findings have been obtained. On the basis of that, I am moving forward. Next is it provides a roadmap. It provides a whole roadmap to the researcher that how to move forward, not only for methodology, analysis and interpretation, for having sample, what kind of sampling technique you can use, and other things which are related to a research proposal, and especially for having some certain idea of particular research. Next is enhancing understanding from other researcher. It guides the researcher in a more concrete direction to formalize the research. Many researches gives you idea that what can be done and what mistake should not be done. For example, if you are thinking that I will take this certain topic and I will utilize this methodology to do my research, but when you do review of literature, you obtain that certain kind of a research cannot be done with some certain methodology. That idea you can have only by literature review. So for a strong research proposal, you have to make a proper deep literature review so that you can enhance the quality of your research proposal, and ultimately you will enhance the quality of your research. So it is very important to look into this component number 3 of a research proposal, which is literature review. Next component is rationale of the study. This is another core component of your research proposal, and you have to master it. Master in a sense that what you say, you have to align it with already existing knowledge. I am repeating it, you have to align it with existing knowledge. And how rationale helps you? You can see here, constructing your argument. For example, you have an argument which is not so formal, which is not so precise, which is not so accurate. As a researcher, when you form rationale of the study, when you form your rationale of the study, it helps you. It helps you in constructing your argument that yes, whatever I am saying on the basis of this and this research. I have found this research, I have found some certain kind of findings and outputs which shows that yes, what I am thinking can be taken further for a research. So, rationale of study helps you in constructing your arguments. Next is the problem of gap in knowledge. This is also very interesting thing. See, when a researcher is taking some particular research and doing the review of literature, no researcher can say that I have found no research on some certain topic or variable. There may be case that you may not have reached up to that sources where the detail of the research is there. So, as a researcher, it becomes your prime responsibility that firstly you identify what is the gap in knowledge. Otherwise, what you do, you will realize after some time that that certain kind of research has been already been done. Then what is the need? What is the need of repeating the research? So, as a researcher, it becomes your prime responsibility to identify that what are the problems of gap in knowledge related to your topic which you are going to pursue. Next is it connects the dot between background information, the problem you are focusing, and why your research is valuable. Everybody is interested in one thing, that why your research should be taken up. There are many researches, many proposals coming to the institutions. Why they will choose your one? Rationale of the study helps you, guides you, and provides a strong support in terms of providing justification to all these things. It connects the dot that this is my background information and this I have to do further. Because in a research, when you start at initial level, there are many things which are vague in a mind of the researcher. And as a researcher, when you follow the components of a research proposal, ultimately you make a connecting dot between all the components which are here and there. So, rationale of the study plays a very important role in connecting all the thoughts, what you have in a background, information, or whatever thought you want to propose further. Rationale of the study helps you in concretizing that. Next is why should people care about concerns and idea academically, socially, and practically. This is very serious to be understood by a research scholar, by a researcher. There are many proposals that is coming to the institution. Sometimes they are academically sound, that your research proposal is very good, your findings, your tentative findings, your methodology, your sampling technique looks sound, but what is the social implication of that research? This is very important to understand, that what is the social implication of your research, what benefits society will get from your research, and what are the practical outputs of your research which can be utilized further to enhance the existing system. This all answers you have to articulate and frame in a very formal manner, in a precise way, that this is my idea and why this idea should be taken as a concern. Next is intent to fill the gap and solve a problem by offering new problem solutions in the form of knowledge. Rationale of the study, you write these things also, that this is my problem and I am going to propose some tentative solution in the form of knowledge by this and this things. This is very important because research is not only coming with a problem. It's not only that you are coming only with a problem, you have to propose some tentative ideas, some tentative thoughts that yes, if I do this research, I can reach to these solutions. For example, you can see here, this study aims to examine the relationship between online learning environment and student motivation in low income high schools in India. See, the statement makes a solution that I am going to examine this and this, and what will be the tentative findings which can just explore the existing situations in the high schools in India. So you have to formalize a rationale in such a way that it not only communicate your research idea, it gives a strong justification in a very precise manner with supporting evidences of research. We will discuss it with the help of an example. Let us see here example of rationale of a study. It's a small rationale that I have prepared, and you can see here online learning has significantly transformed the educational landscape in recent years. While it offers flexibility and accessibility, especially during emergencies like the COVID-19 pandemic, its impact on student motivation, particularly in low-income communities, remains unexplored. Existing studies mostly focus on higher education setting or well-resourced schools, leaving a gap in the understanding the experience of disadvantaged students. The present study seeks to address this gap by investigating how online learning affects motivation among high school students. The finding may be help educators and policymakers to develop more effective online teaching strategies that ensures equity and engageable for all learners. Here you can see some important words I have highlighted in a red color. Its impact on student motivation. See, it's a rationale which is developed on online learning and its effectiveness. You can see here I am talking about that this online learning is going to have some impact on student motivation, and particularly in those areas which are remain unexplored, like low income communities. So it makes a sense, it makes a sense in an overall way that you are going to undergo such kind of a research which is not researched properly. You have some questions, you have some thoughts in the mind that yes, why not this and why this. So it makes like sense. And you can see the last one that I have written, gap by investigating how online learning affects. It is seeking some issues also. So this is the way that a researcher should form a rationale of a study. Even though it's a small example I have taken, you have to form in a little more comprehensive manner, which supports what you are thinking as a researcher. And it should justify in a first instance when somebody is reading your proposal that yes, there are some gaps, and that is what you have to utilize research language and components of the research proposal to make your rationale of the study sound. Next component is research question. Research question is the guiding question of the research idea. It guides the entire research with clear, concise and focused inquiry. Here it is interesting to discuss research question as a component, and I would say here that research question as a component is of very prime importance, even though it comes later after introduction, rationale, but it guides you, it helps you in making your thought very concrete, and not only thought, making of your objective and taking some certain specific decisions regarding your research. A research question is a fundamental question that a researcher aims to answer. As a researcher, definitely when you begin with your topic, you have some certain questions in your mind which led you that yes, how I can think over this, and these are the idea which are hitting in my mind. Shaping the idea. Whatever idea you have, again I will say you concretize it in various forms, and one of the very important form is research question. It leads the way with the help of which researcher moves forward and makes specific moves. Here specific moves can be identified as your sample, your methodology, your tool and instrument what you are going to use in your research. Some sample research question. You can see here there are some sample research questions. How does online learning affect a student's academic performance compared to traditional classroom learning? It's a question. This question can be formed in some other statements also, but it's a question that led somebody to think about online learning issues. Second is, what is the impact of online learning on student motivation and engagement? Third, How effective is online learning for primary school students? Learners, these are some example research questions, and this research question can be formed in some other ways of doing, but it is very important to understand the intent of the question. You can frame it with the different words arrangement, but the intent remains same. It gives you the initial trigger that yes, this is the idea and this is the thought I have. On the basis of that, I will develop further research plan, that what is the use of online learning, how it affects some certain qualities like motivation, engagement, or whatever it is. So you can say here that research question is a fundamental question that researcher aims to answer and makes accordingly moves in a research plan. Next component is statement of problem. Component number 6. It's a very important thing that goes throughout with the research, and wherever you go with your proposal, the first thing that comes in a discussion is a statement of the problem. Even it comes as a component number 6 while you make a research proposal, but generally the first thing that you prepare after so many discussions, so many thoughts, so many counter arguments, that is a statement of problem. So you can see here the statement of the problem includes what is the problem, clear cut, what is the problem, what is to be done, specifically mention the variables involved in the study, and sometimes specific methodology also. See, when we form a research topic, statement of the problem, we try to make a topic which is very concise in nature, which is very abbreviative in nature, so that it communicates all the aspects of a research to the person concerned. See, here are some examples. Example number 1, ICT infrastructure and innovative practices in the higher secondary schools of Aizawl, a case study. Here you can see here variables are also highlighted, target group is also highlighted, as well as a specific kind of methodology is also highlighted in the form of case study. The title, the proposed statement of the problem says everything, that this is going to be a qualitative study which is done with the help of case study on higher secondary schools of Aizawl with respect to their ICT infrastructure and innovative practices. Next is student perception of online learning during COVID-19 pandemic, a survey study of B.Ed students. This is another study. This is a kind of a descriptive survey research where you can clearly see survey word is coming. It means this is going to be a survey study over student perception towards online learning during COVID-19 pandemic. You can see here variables are also highlighted, what is to be done is highlighted, and how it is to be done is also mentioned with the help of methodology. So sometime, not every time this methodology specific title is required, but yes, sometime in a research you need a specific kind of a topic to highlight research methodology also. Next is objective of the study, that is component number 7. In a research, an objective is a sentence that clearly mentions the specific goals that the researcher aims to achieve in the study. With clear defined objective, the researcher can focus on the study. See, whatever you have to do as a researcher, now it comes in a very concrete manner after introduction, rationale, review of literature. Now it comes a time to understand that when you form objective of the study, you have to propose what you want to do part by part. Sometimes research contain many sections, that I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. All thing as a researcher you have to mention here very clearly that this is my objective number 1, this is my objective number 2, this is my objective number 3, so that person concerned can understand that yes, what researcher is trying to do. Some of the major characteristics of objectives you can see here: it should be specific, very specific, no vague statement, no here and there arguments, to the points and very concise. Next is measurable. This is very interesting for researchers to understand that sometimes we write our objective in such a manner which seems to be unmeasurable on the later part. Whatever you do, please check it that yes, it is practically measurable, then make it in the form of a research objective. Next is achievable. Our objective should be achievable. Our objective should be relevant to the topic proposed. For example, you are proposing some topic related to online learning and you are writing that I will do something with the traditional teaching method. That does not incline together. So whatever objective you make, please be very relevant. And last is clarity. Clarity should be there. As a researcher, make your research objective with the help of a good formal research language, so that whatever you want to convey is clearly conveyed to the person. One example we can see here: to study the attitude of high school teachers towards online learning. Objective, simple: to study the attitude of high school teachers toward online learning. So make your objective in such a way so that it can convey your idea in a very specific manner. Concluding discussions. Today we have discussed about various components of the proposal. Not all the components, but various components of the proposal, and as a researcher you have to master all these things if you want to make a good research proposal. First of all, understand what is the component of the research. What are the components of the research? Second is, order of the component is also very important. For example, you cannot make rationale of the study first and then you make introduction. It is not suitable, it is not appropriate. First, as a researcher, try to make your introduction which contains the background of the study. Then you will jump to the rationale that yes, this is my research and why it should be taken. Next is what to do in the various component. This is also very interesting. I have just discussed what you want to do in the component. For example, introduction, rationale, statement of the problem, research objective. You have to be very clear about this thing, that what you have to do in some certain components, because it gives you the clarity. It gives you the clarity to understand that what I have to write in this thing, because research components are very mutually dependent on each other. You will see that sometimes there is a mixing up of ideas and thoughts into the various components, but you have to understand intent of the component. If you can understand the intent of the component, you can clearly make a separate discussions in all the components. Focus on systematic framing and organization. As I have just said, focus on systematic framing. Go with the demands of the institution that they want research proposal in such a way, or follow a standard format that I will do this, I will do this, and I will do this. And last is understanding the appropriate intent of the component. This, as a researcher, will help you to make a very sound research proposal, and not only sound research proposal, this will help you in several kind of executions that you propose in a research plan. Because if you do not understand intent of the components, it will create problems. For example, when you write research question also guides you to do research and research objectives. It also guides you. It gives you the clear-cut statement that this things has to be done by you. So if you do not understand the intent of research question and objective, it will be difficult for a researcher to make a justification. So with this all, thank you so much.